So again, we're going to go into the final matchup we have for you guys today of these quarterfinals, and what a quarterfinals they have been. Jeez. We've seen 3-1, 0-3, 3-2, close matches all around in the last one for right now. Of course, we're going to have the semifinals and grand finals tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Same place right here. But for now, let's go ahead and jump into this last game. Hunter, are you ready for what's to come?
I am ready. Oh, I don't know if I am ready, because this has been insane so far. These quarterfinals have been a really great showing of how far the Tooth and Tail community has come in improving competitively and just playing at the highest competitive levels. And it's been really fun watching them.
All right,
and I'm excited to see what happens here.
Let's get to it. We're gonna jump into this game here. See when the players ready up. Xenocoop is going to be red hopper. Of course, standard Xenocoop red. Durgrobak is going to go for Bellafide blue. And both players know exactly what build they're going to start with.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, going straight into game one here. A little bit of a disconnect here. Okay. So Xeno is to the southwest of the map in red. Durgrobak, let's just call him Durg, it's easier, to the northeast in blue. So what do you think of these builds?
I am excited to see what's going to happen with Wolf. We haven't seen a lot of Wolves in the quarterfinals so far, and I think that if played right, Durgrobak can punch through Xeno's defenses, especially because he's got so many tier 2s. He doesn't have a lot of health. He doesn't have a lot of units to kind of tank up all that damage. So we'll see if he can use these units effectively enough, or use that wolf effectively enough to push through, or whether he gets caught out by the current champion of the game right now.
Yeah, Xeno going with this build, he really likes this build. I haven't seen him deviate from this much at all. He goes with the lizards to hold the early game, then goes with that tier 2 variety that we see be very popular, gives him enough variety to deal with anything coming his way. And then it looks like he's chosen a boar. I think you could go with any tier 3. The tier 3s are really balanced right now. He's going to go with a boar to push through and win, it looks like.
Alright. 8 farms total for both players now, both going for about standard 7 or 8 farm Warren. Durgrobak is going to throw up a turret on this high ground here, very smartly placed turret. Controls a lot of that north and eastern part of the map here. He's got to be careful that he doesn't get cornered, because Xenocoop is a very calculating player and knows where your food is going to be at any given time.
And Xeno looks like he's going to choose to just go for an expansion, and Doug does the same. So they both go for an expansion right here. Both look at them, they're both going for skunk as well. This is ridiculous. They're doing the exact same thing. But Xeno's slightly ahead on his skunk. His is going to be out very shortly, whereas Doug is a little bit later, probably thanks to his turrets going out. And he's putting down 2 more, so he's going to take control of the midfield on this map. And that's going to be a fairly big deal. It's going to restrict Xeno in where he's going to go. Controlling the map early is a fairly big deal in this game. And Doug looks like he's just going to put down Ferret. Okay, that's interesting. He's going to go with a Ferret, push through Xeno's defense, and attempt to wipe out his expansion, maybe? He only has 1 MG nest down right now, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Xeno's ahead on farms. He's put a lot of money into farms recently.
Durg is going for the slower game with 4 machine gun turrets out, and Xenocoop knows it. He's going to push through and build a lot of farms all at once. Of course, if you see your opponent putting up a lot of turrets, you should expand, because it's not a good idea to attack him with those turrets early game. Especially with skunks backing them up.
Yeah, definitely.
See,
Doug going with falcons now as well.
Starting to put out his own farms. Xenocoop's already up to 16 though, so even if he loses his army a couple of times, he might have enough to keep reinforcing. Durgarbach does have this high ground advantage. Let's show you what that high ground advantage does. This is what Xenocoop can see. He knows there are turrets there, but you can see he gets close and he can't see up onto that high ground until he goes up onto that high ground. So he's got to have some flying units or endanger his commander if he wants to push through those turrets.
It looks like he's going to put down some falcons for exactly that purpose. But Durg is now going on the offensive. He's going to position his forces very carefully just so he can poke with those ferrets. Maybe get a few nice shots, take out the lizard. Ferrets do one-shot lizards with their 10 attack, if he can just catch them out. Xeno going with a lot of ferrets. Looks like he wants to overpower Durg's defenses with ferrets, going with 6. I don't think we've ever seen that many ferrets be put out. That's an insane number.
Of course, Xeno does have those hawks. Those hawks are going to give high ground vision for those ferrets if they get close enough. So Durgarbach is going to be hard-pressed to try and defend. These turrets are going to go out one by one. There he goes. He's sold one turret. Let's see if he sells the others and tries to kind of slowly replace his army value. There goes another turret. Xeno pushing around the side here. Bending around. We'll see if he can catch Durgarbach unawares. Durgarbach doesn't have a lot to defend this right now. Xeno, of course, has to be careful. He doesn't have that high ground vision, except when those hawks get nearby.
This is a really smart play from Xeno. With this amount of ferrets, he's just slowly having like a skirmish with Durg's army and just blowing his defenses to smithereens. Durg's forced to sell all of his defenses.
And now is the time to
he's
attack.
He's not going to stop the harassment now.
He goes, look at that methodical takedown. In goes Xenocoop's army. Down this mill right here.
Wow, goes down in an instant with all that ferret fire and all those lizards. Look at the timing on that. That was perfect.
And
He saw
Durgarbach
the exact window he needed.
on 4 farms right now to Xenocoop's 12, so Durgarbach in a very, very bad position. He can't put up any kind of defense because there are now 6 ferrets out on the field, and he doesn't have enough economy to try and build any more units, and he's going to lose what units he has left. Desperately trying to build this northern base here, but I don't think he can come back from this.
Yeah, Xeno takes the midfield now. He's got control of pretty much the whole map. Durg, he can't build this expansion. He doesn't have time. I don't think Durg can get back into this. He panic puts down loads of MGs.
Got as many MGs as he can, but they're all going to get taken down before they even come up. Dominating this first game of best of 5. All of these red circles going to flood across the map. Those lizards gleefully taking down that mill. Coop is going to take game 1.
That was such a methodical line of play. He saw what Durg was doing from the very first moment. He saw the turret. He seemed to know that Durg was just going to focus on those turrets. And as soon as Xeno put down those 6 ferrets, it was over for Durg. His turrets got wiped out. That's a lot of value in turrets that got taken down. And after that, Xeno just had the raw army value to push through and win and take that mid ground, that windmill. Ugh, just an insane level of play, really.
All right, well here we go into game 2. Durgarbach has got to be shaken right now.
Yep, we've got Xeno, a Coop versus Durgarbach. Game 2, Xeno takes game 1, and we have Xeno to the north of the map in red, Durg to the east in blue.
All right, and looking at this map here, Xenocoop has a nice expansion to the east, to the north, and also east. And Durgarbach has 2 nice safe expansions to the north and east as well. So a lot of the play is going to focus around who can control these western bases here, because Xeno is going to have a hard time holding expansions if Durgarbach pushes out and starts to get a foothold in that west here. Put on the dual commander visibility so you can see what both commanders can see right now. We've got Xenocoop on a nice high ledge there, so any kind of rush from Durgarbach is going to be shut down just because of that vision. It's going to be difficult to continue attacking with those pigs even with their base damage. But Durg is going to try for it anyway, going for 3 squirrel warrens all at once. That mill isn't even finished building yet, and Xeno has seen it. Let's see how he reacts. Is he going to sell that farm? He's not going to sell the farm. He's going to let it pop out. He's got one Lizard Warren up so far. He's got another Lizard Warren out. He's going to have to put up some defensive turrets if he wants to defend from this. There we go. There's that turret out, nice and safe in front.
And those lizards are going to be able to come ahead in a fight against those squirrels. So I think Xeno's pretty much set here. I don't think he's all too worried against those. Yeah, exactly. The squirrels, a few of them get taken out by the turret, and then the rest are cleared up by the lizards. Xeno wasn't at all concerned about that. I didn't phase him at all. He knew exactly what he needed to do, and he pulled it off flawlessly. And we see this time and time again from Xeno. It must be really, really frightening to play against someone like this, that just sees what you do and then just effortlessly counters it.
Alright, we've got both players on their 8 farms. Juggerbach hasn't pushed forward yet, and I think Xenocoop, the danger of an early expansion is over now. So we'll see how both players react coming ahead.
So Xeno's got that expansion, but he's putting all of his food right now into those lizards. He's got 18 lizards on the way. That's going to be a lot of lizard power. And Durg is getting his own expansion, and he's put down a few turrets as well. Those turrets are going to be fairly effective at managing those lizards, I think. But Xeno's just placing even more. He's just going one base lizard, apparently. This is going to be really interesting to see.
Wow, going up to 21
Durg
lizards.
sees that. Yeah, Durg sees that massive lizards. Well, that turret gets taken down instantly.
So that turret is down, and those squirrels are slowly backing up. Unfortunately, those turrets on the hill aren't quite, well, I guess they are close enough to defend any kind of further, but 2 farms go down before they come up. So Juggerbach on 8 farms again, with these 2 that are building up here. Xeno getting this base in the north, he knows he's won a fight.
Yeah,
so
Xeno knows. Xeno's taken out 2 of those farms. He now has the advantage. Durg's building farms on his expansion. But Xeno, he can reinforce so quickly, and he's pulling his army across again. He's going to take out the farms on this expansion as well.
Those lizards performing their duty, running around the side. He's not going to be able to run away from this, unfortunately. Looks like a lot of his lizards are going to get taken out. But the damage has been done. A lot of investment from Juggerbach has been taken out.
It's interesting, Xeno showing that you can still do these hit-and-run lizard tactics. We don't really see them that often. They're mostly used as like just a fast, normal unit, really. And Durg is panicking and just putting loads of turrets everywhere around his bases, just to assure that he can actually keep those farms. And Xeno is slowly working his way out of this playstyle, selling his lizard warrens, and building more and more farms. And eventually, I think he's just going to transition into something else entirely.
Xenocoop climbing further and further ahead. 16 farms now, 2 fully functioning bases to Juggerbach's 11. A lot of turrets out for Juggerbach, but if he holds himself into a corner, he leaves that west part completely open for Xenocoop to take over, and will lose in the long run. It's going to come down to what he does, what Juggerbach does next. Does he kind of expand to the west? Can he control Xeno with turrets? But here goes Xenocoop into the west, grabbing that base there, and it's now become much harder for Juggerbach to expand into that west. I just realized Juggerbach's only on 6 squirrels and 6 turrets. He's just put down a wolf, though.
Yep, he spent a lot of that food on the turrets, so he's very behind in terms of army value. He's put down a wolf, and I assume while it's building, he's going to focus on building a lot more squirrels to actually get the raw power out of it. No, he's building falcons right now. Those are also going to be very powerful. But Xeno is transitioning into tier 2s. He's building one of each tier 2, and Durg is going to be a lot of trouble here. Those ferrets are going to work down those turrets effortlessly again.
And there go the ferrets,
yep,
just like last game.
Yep. Durg cannot rely on these turrets at all.
Which means that
as soon as Durg focused on those turrets too much, Xeno just transitioned his build.
That wolf is halfway out. Will it be able to get out in time? And will it have enough impact on the game? Durg has got to save these squirrels. Oh, but it looks like they're going to go down. Xeno knows that
Oh
no! That wolf isn't going to pop out in time. In and out it comes at the wrong time, buffing pigs. So the pigs are going to do a lot of damage here. All the lizards are down. Wolf is just going to keep firing away at things. Can he actually defend from this?
The Wolf, yeah, he buffed up that Falcon. That Falcon did a lot with that burst, and took down the rest of Xeno's army. So Xeno didn't lose too much though. Dirk lost quite a few squirrels, I think a turret or two. Xeno lost quite a lot of his army, so I think that was a fairly even engagement. Look at the army value graph. Dirk actually lost virtually none of his army.
But look
But
how
he did lose
fast.
those structures.
Look how fast
Yeah.
Xenocoop's army goes back up. He's got so much economy right now. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I don't think Dirk is going to be able to do much with this. Dirk is building a lot of Falcons right now, though. Just going to make the most out of that Wolf buff, and that is going to be really powerful against Xeno's army. Xeno's going to have to, like, anti-burst Dirk down.
Ooh,
It
and
looks like he's
Xeno's-
going to try and swarm in.
Xeno's timed his attack perfectly, so the Wolf hasn't units in time. The Wolf does go down, and it looks like Jurgabok is in a lot of trouble. Turret going up, 2 turrets going up, and a 3rd turret is up there too, but it's not going to work in the long run. And that Wolf is gone now.
That Wolf going down, that was a massive deal for Xeno. Xeno, like, Dirk, that is exactly what held the push last time for Dirk. And if Xeno pushes again once he really builds his army, Dirk is going to have nothing to stop him. He's only got turrets. And those turrets, we've proven, aren't good enough. That Wolf is going to be back up soon though, so Xeno needs to make the most of this soon.
Look at this giant red ball of units though. Xenocoop kind of poking around, trying to take out as many turrets as he can before but the Wolf is out. The Wolf is out.
Okay.
There it goes. The buff is down, so Xeno's going to back away. You can't attack into a wolf-buffed army. But once it goes down, there's a 10-second window where Xenocoop can attack without that wolf buff being active, and I think he knows it. He's waited a little bit too long.
He's just poking right now. He's just poking at those ferrets. He's going to slowly work away at that turret, and once that turret goes down, he can bait the buff again, and then win the next fight. I think that's his plan. We'll have to see how this actually pans out though.
We'll see if
He's
Jurgabok's
got a
units...
lot of food.
We'll see if that wolf buffs when those units start to attack that windmill. That might be a good way to get rid of that buff. The units are buffed right
buff
now,
is
and
gone.
it's gone, and Xenocoop is charging right in. He knows exactly when to go in. All of the units melting. That wolf is almost down. It's gone now, and Xenocoop coming out massively ahead in this fight. Well, maybe not ahead, as far ahead as I thought.
Yeah,
Skunk gas down, but
even
turrets-
without that buff, those Falcons, that burst did a lot of damage to Xeno's army. But I think if he just takes out the Wolf each time, he's coming ahead every fight. And especially with that farm advantage, look at the farm difference. Look at that.
23 to 8. What is Jurgabok gonna do? He has to expand, but the only place to expand isn't safe because he doesn't have enough units to push forward right now. That Wolf is almost out again. And Xeno's waited too long to counter push him. That Wolf is out.
It doesn't matter though, because Xeno has so much food. What he was doing all that time, restricting Dirk. Dirk couldn't do anything during that time. He had to stay there just in case Xeno pushed in. And Xeno was farming that entire time, and every time he had a fight, he was building more econ behind it, and here we go, there's another fight.
Ooh, and a poorly timed buff. A little bit of buff still active, but in goes Jurgabok trying to get ahead of that skunk gas as much as he can, but down goes the wolf. All of the army is gone, and this might be it. I don't think we're going to see another one, and look at all the turrets that went down. Xenocoop putting down 4 turrets in front of Jurgabok's base. Of course, we are past that 2-minute mark, so that's legal. And now Jurgabok is just gone. There's nothing Jurgabok can do. No farms left. 4 squirrels out on the field is the only thing that's left. Xenocoop's 16 farms. And Jurgabok knows it. He's just going to stand here. He can let Xeno take down. He's earned it.
Wow. Again, we're seeing Xeno just pull ahead of these fights, where he knows what he's doing. He knows he has a plan in the background. Like all of those fights, look how much Xeno lost. It doesn't matter because he had so much advantage in econ. And he was restricting Dirk each fight with just those little pokes. Dirk couldn't do anything between them.
Alright, reset that poll. Go ahead and tell us who you think is going to win this last match. Can Xenocoop wipe Jurgabok completely out of this tournament and go 3-0 in this best of 5, or will Jurgabok come back with a desperate strategy to surprise Xenocoop?
I would describe this as a desperate strategy, I'm gonna be honest. Look at this. Okay, so this is game 3 of Xeno versus Dirk. Xeno has won 2 games in a row, looking to take his 3rd to become semi-finalist, and Xeno is to the north of the map in red. Doug is to the south in blue, and what is your opinion on Doug's build? Look at this.
Wow, so the reason we're reacting like this, I think, is because we see 3 structures that's very unorthodox for most players, and also chameleons, which we haven't seen a lot, getting taken by some of the higher up players. Maybe just not as strong in this patch, maybe not. Juggerbach going for that. We haven't seen barbed wire yet, actually, I don't think at all. We'll see if he can turtle up. I think that's what he's trying to do here. He's got a really good map for turtling, except for Xeno and Coop having ferrets.
He can take those 2 bases fairly easily, but those ferrets won't really help against the sniper balloon, so maybe that will be his key.
It's true, if he puts down enough sniper balloons, he can defend. We'll see what he decides to do, though. He's gone for a 5-farm Warren, 5-farm Squirrel Warren, and Xeno sees it there. We'll see how Xeno decides to react.
I think it's worth mentioning, although this is a good map for Dirk for turtling up, Xeno can fairly easily take control of a lot of these expansions here. It's a really weird map, honestly. A lot of the fighting is going to be going on to the east, maybe. That's the only route through. It's really strange.
I like to call these horseshoe maps because most of the fighting is going to bend all the way around to one side of the map and then back to the other side. If Xeno Coop so chooses, one strategy for this map would be to build a bunch of hawks, run around that horseshoe, and then summon the hawks over that horseshoe area. Now, I'm surprising your opponent. It's probably going to be defending the east part of the map and won't expect an attack from the west over the mountains. But again, we'll see. Juggerbach going ahead and throwing down barbed wire.
He's also throwing down 2 chameleon warrens.
Oh no.
What is Xeno gonna think here? He's got skunks out already. Skunks are gonna be utterly useless versus these chameleons. And he's building more lizards, which is probably what he needs to do. These chameleons are really... I think they're gonna really surprise Xeno. I don't know how he could possibly expect chameleons on... This is just such a weird build.
He's doing it. Juggerbach's just turtling up. He's just thrown down a sniper balloon in front of his base. And he's building that expansion over there. Xeno Coop, of course, not seeing any tier 2s. He's got to know that they're chameleons by now, because it's been enough time for a tier 2 to start coming out, because Xeno is that good of a player. But we'll see how he responds to this. What should his response be? Xeno Coop's response.
No idea. These weird chameleon players, I think you can just counter them with having your army around. As long as your army is around. Yeah, as long as you have an army of lizards around your enemy commander, what are those chameleons going to do? You kill the commander, and then okay, well the chameleons are free. You know, they're free to attack. I think it's a tough little strategy to pull off, and I'll be surprised to see Doug do too well with it. I think Xeno can just, as long as he always has enough units around, he can just eco up.
Yeah, Juggerbach has completely turtled up now. I don't think he intends to leave at all. He's throwing down another chameleon warren. So Xeno Coop knows that he's turtling up and is going to expand, so eventually he's going to win in the long run. What could make this match interesting is if Juggerbach manages to burst out through these defensive turrets out front here with these chameleons. Because the chameleons do a lot of damage, and they get their hit off before they even take any damage. So we'll see whether Juggerbach can surge out through this, or whether Xeno Coop will be able to hold it off for long enough to win this long run, as is inevitable. Because he has more bases on his side. Yeah.
It's going to be really tough for Xeno, for Dirk here, actually, because although the more chameleons he builds, those chameleons, the mass of them has more and more health. There's no way of increasing his commander health, so as long as Xeno can burst Dirk down before he can get into position with his chameleons, I don't think Xeno's going to have too much of an issue. This is a really all-in strategy here, and if Dirk doesn't pull it off quite right, then it's just going to be all over for him. I'd really love to see this work though. This would be hilarious.
I hope it does. Look at all the barbed wire going down in there. Those lizards will be able to hit that barbed wire. Of course, ranged units cannot hit barbed wire right now. Neither can ferrets. So actually, all of Durgobach's defenses right now can't be hit by ferrets. So Xenocoop hasn't even bothered to build any, smartly. See, those sniper balloons, there's 3 of them now, are going to do pretty well against those lizards. Again, lizards have about 10 health, and that's one of their main strengths as a tier 1, is that they have speed and they have a fair amount of health to try and tank some shots. But those sniper balloons are going to take them down in one shot no matter what. And those chameleons are going to do... There's 10 chameleons out on the field! 10!
Yup.
Wow! Xenocoop is kind of exploring down here to make sure there's definitely no other bases. I don't think Xenocoop is going to charge into this. He's not going to let himself be taken out.
He doesn't need to. He has absolutely no reason to push forward. Doug has 2 bases. And although Doug is going to try and squeeze every ounce of food out of these bases straight into chameleon value, he's going to get a whole push of 2 windmills worth of chameleons in one push. That's his plan. Xeno, all he needs to do is just keep his farms alive.
I want to point this out. Durgobox does something very, very smart here that I love to do when I do this kind of thing. These last 2 farms here are not built. So when your farms are almost all farmed out, you can build one of those to keep from starving. It's not a great long-term economic solution, but it does force your opponent, if your opponent builds their farms too fast because they think you're contained, your opponent may start to starve as well. So we'll see if that's enough to outlast this and make Xenocoop attack into all this barbed wire and into the sniper balloons.
The Durg is on 16 chameleons right now. And now he's built a badger.
No, he's built a badger.
This is very ridiculous.
All of those lizards are going to be occupied with the barbed wire in front of them, and that badger's just going to be sitting behind it. So if that badger can wind up, it may actually be able to burst through this whole army. There's a lot of turrets going up for Xenocoop now, so even if he loses his army, it's going to be difficult to push through and take out all these turrets.
Yeah, and he has 5 windmills to actually destroy if all this happens as well. And he's going to have to do it quickly because with that amount of farms, Xeno can rebuild his army super fast. And Xeno's just building more and more units. Look at that cluster of warrens. He's got 3 boars on the way, 12 falcons, 18 lizards. It looks like Doug is just testing to see how fast he dies.
Because of course you could do that. Your commander respawns after 7 seconds or 6 seconds. And that's okay. Xenocoop just gonna throw down... He's gonna go up to 4 boars right now. 4. That's 400 health. Against, just to give you some perspective, a regular tier 1 has between 5 and 10 health, and Xenocoop's gonna have 400 health out on the field at one time. 2 badgers out for Durgobach right now.
Durg's actually sold some of his chameleons. He's putting even more badgers down. He's running out of food on his farms, though. Almost all of his farms are going to die soon, so he's going to need to push out soon. But I don't know if he's actually been able to come ahead in all this time. Xeno's had 5 bases to farm on, and he's farmed on most of them.
Xeno's very far ahead in army value right now. Looking at military structures, Xeno's ahead as well, and economic structures, Xeno is very much ahead. Almost 3 or 4 times as many. Wow, look at all that flame. Down goes Durgobach, just testing it out. I can't even see the numbers. Is that 16 falcons up there?
That is 16 and 22 eventually. It's
look at
24.
Look at all the warrens. Look at all the warrens here. So many warrens.
To take out those falcons. I mean, he has the badgers, but they're gonna have to get wind up. This is... Doug has to be very nervous right now. Like,
nervous, but also probably enjoying himself.
Yeah,
enjoying himself.
Yeah. But he knows he has to pull this off now. Like, he can't just keep stalling. He needs to, at some point, actually use these chameleons before Xeno gets too big of an army.
Yeah, Durgobach on 280 food. And there he goes. He's calling something? Oh,
no,
is he trying to bait?
Oh, he's trying to bait him.
Oh, Xenocoop is dragging his whole army away. Maybe he thinks that Durgobach is going to attack with these chameleons now. Can Durgobach take advantage of this now?
This is ridiculous.
Running around.
Now he's bringing in his army. Now he's actually... This is ingenious.
And there they go. The chameleons are going to
Will
start to...
this actually work, though? That's the question.
Badgers are almost there. Badgers going to wind up on those turrets, though. Those chameleons coming out in front. Oh, first few are too far ahead with nothing, melting all those chameleons. Badgers are fully wound up. They're going to go down fighting. Down goes the army. It looks like that's going to be it. All Xenocoop has to do now is fight through all of this barbed wire. Got so many hawks. It's not going to be a problem. So, turtling.
That was ridiculous.
Maybe not working the best in here. It was entertaining to watch.
Definitely, yeah.
So, a good game.
All those balls. All those balls kill the chameleons before they even get revealed.
5 boars out on the field. And that's going to be GG for Durgarbox. Xenocoop is going to take game to sweep Durgarbox right out of the series. But well played by all, absolutely.
Dirk went down fighting there. That was a... He put on an impressive and exciting fight for us on that last game.
I can die happy now. I've seen somebody turtle in the finals.
Really ridiculous.
Alright, well let's go back to the finals bracket so you can see what's going to happen tomorrow when we see the semifinals and grand finals. Semifinals tomorrow are another best of 5. We're going to have AV Ultima versus Classic Metal. Classic Metal, of course, upsetting, beating LeConte in that 3-0 series earlier today. And we're going to have Dead Bones versus Xenocoop in a rematch of last tournament's grand finals match. Of course, this will be in the semifinals this time, so only one of them can advance to win in the grand finals. But Hunter,
exciting stuff.
Summary of today. What have you seen today that surprised you? What have you seen that was entertaining? What did you see that you weren't expecting?
I think the most surprising thing, and I think a lot of people can agree with me on this, is Classic Metal taking the 3-0, sweeping the floor with a really experienced player in LeConte, with that extremely powerful, aggressive push with the Squirrel Falcons. That was insane to see. Just such an experienced player going down to such a strat like that, and Classic Metal was pulling it off pretty much flawlessly. Like, he'd practiced that over and over again in the group stage,
right? And
now he can just do it really well.
Right.
Another thing we've seen, Xeno, just playing as amazingly as ever with that methodical, know exactly what he needs to do kind of play. That's really exciting to see always. And I think the tensest matchup we've seen, Dead Bones versus Valently. So close. You couldn't have called any of those games. You couldn't have. It was ridiculous.
I'm really glad that we saw Owls in these quarterfinals. We hadn't seen Owls in a lot of the pool play matches, but those Owls coming back for Valently versus Dead Bones really, I think, made the difference in a couple of those games, bringing them out to the front and making them explode. Those 6 mice coming out for a boost of DPS and also health to tank. That was really, really exciting to see. I hope the players see that and incorporate that into more of their strategies. Actually, I think
that would be really powerful, honestly.
I think we saw every single tier 3 in today's matches. We saw Wolf from Durgarbox. We saw 5 boars from Xenocoop. In AV Ultima versus Hype, we saw some foxes out. In Valently versus Dead Bones, we saw some owls out. That's all of them. And then we saw badgers from Durgarbox.
Yeah, so we've seen every single tier 3. So there you go, Pocketwatch. You did it. You balanced tier 3.
Balanced game. Everything is balanced. You can release the game now. Everybody can play. Everybody can play.
Yeah.
All right. Well, semifinals will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. That's EDT. Same place, right here. I can't wait for everybody to see all this. This is going to be some great matches. Classic Metal AV and Dead Bones versus Xenocoop.
It really is going to be insane to watch. And then we got the grand finals straight afterwards, the best of 7.
Best of 7 of the winners of the semifinals. So we've got something additional here for you now. All up until the start of the tournament, we've had players making predictions on who they think will win. So we're going to take a look at that now to see who's ahead. Oop, it's not updated. So never mind. We're not going to look at that right now. It is not live updated, unfortunately. But you can see that if you click on the brackets icon. I believe it's a fox below this stream. You can see the brackets right now. You can see who's ahead in predictions. And most importantly, you can see all about what has happened previously in these matches from July Joust. So I think we're ready to sign off for today. We'll see you all tomorrow. Hunter, do you have any closing comments for all the lovely viewers here?
I'd like to thank everyone for watching. I wasn't watching the view counter the whole time, but I saw 50 people watching us at the end of that. That's really
Ooh.
insane to see so much support for our little community tournament here. I hope you've all been enjoying the cast and these amazing games played by these great players. I'd like to thank everyone taking part in the tournament, and everyone who was in chat today.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you to the devs as well for creating this game and keeping it so updated and being so involved with the community. We look forward to showing you the things you have created in the grand finals and semifinals tomorrow.
Oh, definitely. The devs have been really good in supporting the Clash of Comrades, and we couldn't possibly thank them enough.
All right, so thank you so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.